Thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope that you heed my advice that I'm going to be giving you guys today. So make sure you tune in, listen very carefully, because what I'm going to share with you guys today is actually going to really impact this week's trading as well. So not only is this timely advice, but it's actually very timely because of what's going to be coming up this week. Okay. And I do know that thousands will be watching this later on. And so even if you backtrack this and look at the advice that I'm giving today to those who are tuning in today, you're going to see that it actually played out exactly the way I said it should, and that this was good advice that I'm going to be giving to those who are watching it today. Now, before I do that, just want to say a couple of thank yous. Thank you, everybody who are purchasing our new software, the Too Easy system, because you're helping to change lives around the world. We have been using that to help support different organizations around the world, such as World Food is one of them. World Food is a program that we support. InvisiblePeople.tv. A matter of fact, we donated so much that the owner of that homeless corporation actually sent us a thank you card. So his name is Mark. And then there's another one that nobody really hears about, and it's called Unheard Cries. Unheard Cries supports organizations around the world, such as in Yemen, Ethiopia, and other places where people are literally starving to death right now. So while you're throwing food into the trash, they're actually starving to death. So we've been sending tons of money down there to help with that situation, along with a couple others, including ASPCA for animals and so forth and so forth. So your purchase, thank you for purchasing that. Keep on doing it. Plus, on top of that, that indicator is a flat out beast. It's changing lives. Absolutely, hands down. So anyway, thank you guys for that. Number two, I also want to send a shout out to the Signals team before we do today's lesson. Thank you, Signals team, because last week we crushed it. I think we were 10-4 on the Signal side, but then on the scalping group, because that's all included in the Signal service, live scalping sessions twice a week with Miss Jenny. Even with a loss, they still did over 6,000 pips last week. So again, just a monster week with our Signals group. So if you haven't joined, I suggest you do. And it comes with 2 additional indicators. Okay. 2 additional indicators. So anyway, let's get to business. So here's the deal, you guys. I'm going to read you a letter from a person who actually took the advice that I'm going to be giving to you guys today. And I want you to hear the results of what this person who actually took my advice, the same advice that I'm going to be giving to you today, I want you to hear what happened to this person. And again, I did ask their permission to share the story, but I've made sure promise that I told them that I will not give their personal information out, but they are a member of our group. But I had to get on them, just like I'm going to do with you guys today. The truth of the matter is that some of you guys, you really need to take a refocus, sit back, relax, and refocus and reshift your thinking. You're too busy trying to come into the market to make money, and you have no understanding of how the market is actually flowing. Before I read this one, but let me tell you for an example. And hear this message all the way to the end. Don't tune me out, because it's going to cost you, because I'm actually going to explain what I anticipate is going to be happening this week, which is why this advice is so timely, because you should be executing this idea this week. Okay. But there was a person, and we get these all the time, a person who emailed my staff and said, hey, I got about $700 to start with. Is that a good amount to start with your trading system? We always give the same answer, always the same answer. I don't care if you had $10 million. The answer is no, because the first thing you need is not to worry about how much money you can start with to start flipping before you even understand how things work. Some of you guys, that's your problem. You have never slowed down enough to understand how things actually work. You dibble and dab in things, but you have never slowed down enough to really truly understand how things work. And that's why you're constantly losing money. It's not the trading systems. It's not this and that. It's actually you. And when you hear me read this testimony from this person who actually took my advice, watch how his whole trading career in a short amount of time completely flipped over. And some of you guys, you've never even seen this kind of money come out of Forex. But I'm going to read this testimony and I'll be right back with you. So hear what happened to this person who literally took my advice of, hey, you need to stop for a moment. Here's what this person said. It says, Dear Uncle P, around 2 months ago, I contacted Super Easy to know about the system, and I was asked by your team to tell my trading experience and the performance over the year. And to my surprise, I was advised to stop trading. So this person that emailed us telling me and my staff about their trading experience, how much they know, this, that, and the other, and their results, which were horrible, like some of you. And what was our advice? We didn't tell them to keep on buying more, keep doing this, keep doing that. Here's what our advice was. And to my surprise, why was it a surprise? Because most people wouldn't tell you the truth. They want you to, hey, just buy this, pay me more. See, we're not money hungry. That's not the point. We're really trying to help you. So here's what he was surprised about. He said, and to my surprise, I was advised to actually stop trading immediately. I then went ahead and purchased Simplicity and attended classes since then. He did what? Attended our classes. I asked questions to clear my doubts and listened to other members' questions and your answers to that. It took me almost a month to understand trading with Simplicity, with a clear mind, with a clear mind. You guys ain't got a clear mind. You're too busy chasing the money, but you're stressed out. You got all this stuff going on and your mind ain't even clear. So no matter what anybody teaches you, it's not absorbing because there's no place in your mind to accept true answers because your mind is so full and you're full of doubt. You're full of fears. You're full of stress. You're full of this and that, and you're not thinking clear. So even the simplest thing will bypass you. Let me get back to this. He says, it took me almost a month to understand trading with Simplicity with a clear mind. In between, I kept trading small trade sizes to have experience with Simplicity's performance. Let me now share the changes that Simplicity brought in my trading. I started trading with more confidence, clear mind, and without emotional attachment. It seemed unbelievable even to you that I made a profit of, watch this, $1,200+ in my second month of trading with Simplicity. And on top of that, I recovered the drawdown in my account, which was huge, of $1,500 before I started using Simplicity, making a total of $2,700 in profit in 2 months. Remember, the first month was only for learning. The first month was only for what? Learning. I have no words to thank you, Uncle P, for bringing this confidence in trading. The drawdown in my account now never go big enough that can bother me. I have just purchased the new Too Easy, and my first day with the Too Easy went 100% successful with good profit of the USD. And he's saying he made $1,000 on his first day using our new Too Easy system. I honestly don't count numbers of trades because I count only what I have profited. Just in a day's experience with Too Easy, I have put my son into trading with the additional license key I get with the purchase of the Too Easy and the Simplicity. As I said, I have no words to thank you. But yes, I pray for your happy and healthy life in my daily prayers. Keep inspiring and motivating everyone that comes into your contact. May God bless you. Okay, here's the point that I'm trying to make here. This is a person that we just told the truth to. And I'm telling some of you guys the actual truth. Again, listen all the way to the end because this is actually the perfect week for you to take my advice. Some of you guys, you don't understand. The Bible says with all you're getting, get an understanding. You're not standing on anything because you don't understand. You have no knowledge of what's going on. And yes, the Simplicity system is very simple, but even that will be complicated by you if you don't understand. Matter of fact, here's the truth. I had my daughter on and my son, and some of you guys attended that live interview. And my daughter knew absolutely nothing about trading, but she had a better trading week than some of you guys who have all this complicated skill sets in your head about trading. Well, what happened? The problem is that your mind is so scrambled full of junk until you don't know what's true from false. You don't know what works versus what don't work. And so the advice that I'm telling you to do today is before you take your next trade, actually stop trading for a little while with live accounts and go into demo and just practice with one or two trading systems, and only stick to one or two different type of trading styles. You're trying to mix 50 different indicators, 50 different thought processes, and you're just confused. And the simplest of things could be right there in front of you. And I can't tell you how many untold number of people have told me, you know what, you're absolutely right. Because sometimes they have a term called paralysis by analysis. That means that you are so busy trying to do the analysis until when it's time to pull the trigger, you're so nervous now, you're scared to pull the trigger. Then the next day you find out, oh, that trade would actually won. What was the problem? It wasn't the setup, it was you. Your mind is not clear. You're not focused. Are you understanding what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. Last week, live in class, there was a situation. Some of you guys may have traded the CAD last week. And here's where you need to take notes, because this is going to impact this week, your trading. So congratulations for those few who are here and the thousands who will listen later today or this week, because I promise you, you're going to wish that you had tuned in and heard me. Because literally, we were in class, I think it was on Wednesdays, in Wednesday's live class. And I told them, I said, I know the CAD is supposed to have its news coming out, but something is strange about the market, because the market hasn't moved much. And typically the interest rate news recently has stayed the same. In other words, they have not changed the interest rates. So you need to hear me good, because I'm giving you a heads up on what's going on this week. And this is going to help you on my advice. Stop trading till you understand what's going on, or until you get mentorship. Many of you guys, you are not mentored. That's why you're losing. You're not being taught what to look for. And you're just buying indicators, slapping them on the charts, and then you just doing your own thing. Well, I have my own trading way of trading. How has that been working for you, dear? How has that been working for you, brother? You ain't did near withdrawal, and you still sticking to what you think you know, even though evidence proves that you are wrong. But you're being stubborn, and it's costing you and potentially your family. So here's some good advice. Listen to what I'm telling you now. Take notes on what I'm telling you, because this is about to impact, possibly, I have to always say that, possibly impact this week's trading like it did last week. So here's what happened. I told my students, I said, I doubt it, because I taught them on interest rates, and you can look up this exact thing that I just told them last week, and this is going to help you guys understand this week's coming up. Okay, I told them that when the interest rates, when you hear them say hawkish, write this term down, I'm teaching. When they say hawkish, that means that they are potentially going to raise the interest rates now or in the near future. Hawkish means up. Dovish means down. And that doesn't matter whether you trade stocks or Forex. It impacts both. Hawkish means up, meaning they potentially are going to currently raise interest rates or in the near future. Or dovish, which means down. Now, we've seen dovish interest rates, meaning that they lowered interest rates because of COVID. Here's how interest rates work in my personal research. Now, again, do your own due diligence, do your thing. But in my personal research, when an economy is in bad shape, they tend to lower the interest rates down because they need you to spend your money. Because when you spend money, whether you're buying a car, groceries, whatever, well, not groceries, but car, clothes, jewelry, house, whatever, they can put tax on that and it generates revenue for the government. But if there's not a good economy, they will lower the interest rates to entice you to spend more. Most people want to save in a stressful situation. Well, they lower interest rates to encourage you to come up off that money that you're trying to save. That's why you see them lowering interest rates in bad times. It's not to just benefit you, but it's also to benefit them because they actually are encouraging. Give me an example. A lot of people wasn't even thinking about buying a house. COVID hit, they lowered the interest rates to near nothing. And then guess what happened? A lot of people start saying, well, guess what? I guess it's about time to buy a house. Why? Because the interest rates are so low. You see how you just made a conscious spending decision when at first you were saying, no, I need to save this money for COVID because I don't know what's going to happen. But see how they encouraged you to spend out of your pocket? Okay. Now I'm teaching multiple things, so tune in. This is a real good class today for my fellow retail traders. Pay attention because it's going to hit you next week. If you don't listen, okay, don't rush off. So now, when the economy is strengthening or strong, you will hear a term called hawkish. Hawk. Okay, hawks fly higher than doves. All right, just keep it that way. Dove D means down. Hawk means high, up. They are potentially thinking about, this is why if you traded the cat, and we watched it happen last week in class, we were actually in the AUD CAD. A couple of us were. And that thing shot up real quick. However, that's not normal. And you say, well, Uncle P, why was that not normal? Here's the reason why. Because I had told them in advance, I said the chances of them raising the interest rate right now is slim to none. So I doubt if they'll raise the interest rates. And I told them in advance, I am never worried about where the interest rates are going to go. I am more worried about what they're going to say on top of that. Because if you're in a trade, Forex traders, and you don't understand the news announcements, this is also why you've been losing a lot of trades. You've been jumping your butt into trades when you should have been sitting on your hands waiting for news to come out to see not only what the interest rates was going to be or whatever the news event was going to be, but what will be the vibration or the echo effect. That's a better way of saying it. What will be the echo effect of what they're going to say? And lo and behold, we were in class and we watched it happen. And a lot of my students, they were actually in those trades, made a boatload of money instantly because it worked. The simplicity read it and it worked. It worked. Okay, no problem. AUD CAD, check it like you check it. You check it. AUD CAD, CAD JPY, CAD Swiss, NZD CAD, Euro CAD. All of them made a big move. And I said, but before that move happened, and I'm telling you for your sake this week, you better be listening to what I'm telling you. I told them in advance, I said, do you know that something strange is happening in the market? I said, because I know that normally, there have been tons of announcements about interest rates and they all played out pretty much exactly the way I told them. They ain't raising nothing. I said the economy is not strong enough for them to raise the interest rates because when the economy is very strong, that's when they start sliding them interest rates up, getting more money out of you. Why? Because you're already frisky and happy and ready to spend anyway. So they just raise it up a little bit more to charge you a little bit more tax. But you don't really care. Why? Because everybody's prosperous. Okay, so here's what happened. But I said right now, they're probably just going to leave them exactly where they are. Lo and behold, they left them exactly where they were. But then the question is, then why was the whole market sitting still? Some of you guys were in trades, and you may have noticed up until that Canadian announcement, the market just literally was just sitting in a small, tight range, barely budging. Now, if this is only for Canada, the Canadian dollar, why is the US dollar impacted? Why was it impacted? Why was all these other currencies sitting at a standstill, which means, something's coming. And I told my students, I said, something ain't right. I said, when the market sits still like this, something is on its way. I told them live and in class. And literally, okay, Canadian news came out, CAD shot up real big. And I didn't have time to research why did it do that? Because not only did it impact the Canadian dollar, but it also shook the US dollar and a couple of other currency pairs. Stay with me, because I'm helping you. I'm helping you. You're getting mentorship for free here. People don't teach this because they don't even waste their time researching it. But you be in your trades and you wondering why it always keeps shooting up against you and you don't even know what's going on. Player. So hear me out, because I'm going to help you not lose money this week. You need to learn when to just sit on your hands and realize I might need some mentorship. I might need some education because I don't know this stuff. And he's right. I've been entering into trades and it keeps shooting up against me and I don't know why. Okay, here's your first example. Here's what happened. Canada came out and they left the interest rates exactly like I said they were going to do at where they were, a quarter point or whatever it was. But that wasn't the problem. The problem is that they hinted towards the fact. Notice remember that term I said to use, write down the term, what was it? Hawkish. They hinted to the fact that within a year's time or so, they plan on doing what? What is the word? Somebody, let me see if the chat is on. What does the word hawkish means again? I want to make sure y'all getting this before we go further, because I'm going to help you with this week's trading as well. What does the word hawkish means again? I want to make sure the chat is on. Hopefully I have it turned on. Thank you, Elliot. Hey, Mr. Elliot. Hey. Yes, up, meaning that they plan on raising the interest rates. And when they raise interest rates, that currency gets value. Okay, write that down. When the currency is raising, when they raise interest rates on the currency, it just became more valuable. That is why you're seeing the Canadian dollar go up, and all the other pairs that was against it, you're seeing it go down, because they didn't even do it yet, but they hinted towards it. And that was the information that caused the shaking amongst all the other currency pairs. Good, I'm seeing answers. You guys are getting it. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This is going to help you when you're coming to these, you're checking to see for news and you don't know what's going on, and then you see something about the interest rates are coming out, okay? Which I think the JPY is coming out with their interest rates this week. And I darn sure know that you better pay attention to what I'm saying, because the US dollar is coming out with its interest rates. So watch this. Let's go further. Let's go further. So what this means, family, is the fact that this week, the market will potentially, now again, it could do what it wants, but leading up to, you can anticipate that the market will start slowing down up to, and I think the US is going to be making their announcement on Wednesday. I could be wrong. I don't have the app in front of me, but up to Wednesday, I believe it's when they're going to be making their announcements. The whole world is going to want to know what is the interest rates going to be, or what is the future idea by the Feds concerning whether they're going to leave interest rates alone or raise them. Now, here's why this is important. Because the Canadian dollar is leading the way, saying, okay, our people are doing better. So therefore, we're not thinking about adding more stimulus money to the economy. Y'all been stimulated enough from us. Now it's time for y'all to start coughing up that money out your pocket. You understand what I'm saying? So the Canadian dollar is leading the way. Who could potentially be next? You got it. The US dollar, who is potentially making their interest rate news announcement this week. Now, here's the truth. They may not raise the interest rates this week, but that ain't the problem. What is their future plans, which will then cause the market to vibrate? Now, I say all of this and you say, man, that's some deep stuff, Uncle P. Thank you for sharing. But okay, what did that have to do with me stopping the trade? Here's the reason why this is important. I'm explaining this as an example to some of you guys that you don't know what's going on. You're too busy trying to make money versus trying to gain the knowledge. Let me give you a better example. Some of you guys, if I went to work at your company right now, I would just absolutely fail on my first day and even my first week. Why? It's not that I'm a dumb person. It's just that I don't have enough knowledge on the level that you do to do the job that you do. Type of amen if you agree with that. Whatever career field you're in, yes, Uncle P knows some good stuff about the markets. But if I walked into your field of business, would I not fail? Because I don't know enough. But if I come in there talking about, well, I'm gonna dominate this thing because I'm Uncle Peasy. Y'all don't know who I am. Fool, who are you? So the problem is that if I don't know enough about what's going on, I cannot come in and assume that I'm going to take over the company as number one staff member, and I'm going to take over the CEO position. And I just started today. That's the problem. I just started. I have to humble myself and say, okay, you know what? Let me get to the point where I can educate myself, watch what they do, even at McDonald's and other places. What they will do is they will partner you up with somebody who got some experience and say they will be your mentor. And you work hand in hand with a person and they teach you the ropes. And they teach you, even as far as flipping burgers. No, you don't flip it at that time. No, you got to turn it to, see, you leave the fries in it. And even to the simplest jobs, you have to go through a step-by-step mentorship process. You can't just come in thinking that you're going to do your thing. But in the Forex market, I have told you guys many times, over and over and over again, people come into the Forex market thinking they know what they're doing and they just gonna plop some money in. And then when it don't work out, guess what they do? Oh, he's a scammer, she's a scammer. No, you the fool. And I don't mean that because it was me too. I was a fool because I'm stepping into an arena where trillions of dollars are being traded. Every major bank in the world is involved in this. All these high stake players are coming in. And I think that my little retail self, because I just think it looks simple enough. And I think that I'm going to dominate the game and make $1 million. No. And so my advice is, before you take your next trade, do two things. And this week is the best week to actually practice what I'm telling you. Just like I told this guy who turned around and made $2,700, he picked back up the $1,200 he lost plus profit of $1,500 and for a total of $2,700. But after he did what I said. And what was that? You need to stop trading, partner. You need to stop. Just take a break. Learn the game first. And then when you learn the game, you can dominate the game. And notice how long it took him, a month. It wasn't even long. But the key word that he kept saying over and over again, he had to clear his mind. And that's some of you guys' problem. Your mind ain't clear. When I'm overwhelmed, sometimes I choose not to trade. I take a couple of days off because I need to have a clear mind. Even as simple as simplicity is, you will be surprised at how you will screw up some of the simplest things in your life. That's why some of y'all got relationship problems. You are screwing up the simplest and best thing in your life. Finna go through a divorce court because you are not clearly thinking. And by the time you've lost everything, including that man or that woman that you tossing to the side and the money in Forex and all the different things you're losing, by the time you actually sit your butt still and say, you know what, I need to just chill out. I need to chillax and get my head together. You're going to look back and say, man, I left a train wreck. And it wasn't even these things. It was actually me. I wasn't thinking clear. Type in number 100 if you know I'm telling the truth. Maybe not about you, but somebody you know. We all go through it. We're not Superman and Superwoman. We go through things. And you just have to sit down and relax. Let me leave you with one big thing that people don't do. The biggest thing to actually help de-escalate the stress in your life when it comes to trading, go into demo. Notice what the other person who emailed us about. Well, I got about 700, 800. Is that enough to start with? No. Here's always our answer. Get the system, come to a couple of classes, allow me to mentor you, or if my staff are emailing them, allow Uncle P to mentor you first so he can teach you the ropes. Just like a person at McDonald's or any other fast food joint, you don't just come in and they, unless they just don't care. But normally they, hey, follow this person. They'll tell you and show you the ropes. And you get a little guidance until you know what you're doing. And then you move on and you graduate on up to the next step. But you don't just come in thinking you're dominating. So this person who said, oh yeah, well, I got this amount of money, what should I do with it? Nothing. Put it in your pocket. Because you don't even know how we trade. We don't trade like everybody else does. You have to learn the way we do things. You got McDonald's, you got Burger King, you got, Carl's Jr. They all sell burgers, but they don't all cook them the same way. You got to go in there and learn how they do it. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? And this is the problem when you're buying indicator after indicator after indicator without the mentorship, because you're just thinking that you can fry up the burger the exact same way in the Forex market. And the Forex market is chewing your butt alive. When are you going to stop and say, I need education, not the money, because I'm giving more money than I'm actually pulling out? And I've said this time and time again. Some of you guys have never made a withdrawal. So when are you going to realize I need to stop trying to make money? Let me go into demo. And that right there is shaking some of you guys up. Man, I don't know, man. I know I need to be in demo, but man, I'm trying to quit this job. You gonna be, dude, let me say this. The truth of the matter is, because you're not taking my advice, you're gonna be at that job a lot longer. Because not only are you working and making the money, but you're taking every extra dollar you get from that job, putting it into the Forex market, and you're losing it, which means you got to go back and make that money back up. Now you're doing overtime or whatever else, and you're doubly stressed. It's not working. So stop trading, stay in demo, give yourself enough time to get educated on the indicators you bought, the trading system. And if you have a mentorship program like and why am I saying that generally? Because again, if you join us, you join us, you don't. I get it. Okay, I get it. Maybe I'm not the right one for you. Maybe you just like the free videos on Sunday. That's perfectly fine. But you do need to get tutelage. You do need to stop and go through the whatever program you bought, go through the tutorials if they have them. Read the manual that came with it. Understand how the market actually flows. I told you guys, now that I understand how the market flows, all these other trading systems that I bought a long time ago, I can make almost any of them work. Now I realize it was never the trading system that was the problem. It was when I was using it and my lack of knowledge about the market itself. That's like me buying a toolkit and then I'm gonna come out and work on your car. But I ain't never had no history of ever working on cars. But I went in the AutoZone and I bought me some tools. The only one that's familiar to me is a hammer. I know what the hammer does. And I get up in your hood and I talk real good. Yeah, I'm gonna fix your car. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna fix your car. I know. Turn it on. Okay, I hear the problem. And then I just pop over my toolkit. And the only thing I know is grabbing a hammer and I get to beating the hell out your engine. Lord, forgive me for saying it that way, but you get my point. And I get to beating your engine down. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? Well, you know, I bought a toolkit and I said I'm gonna be a mechanic, and so therefore you said you had a problem with your car. I said I have a problem with my brakes. Why is you beating up my engine? Well, I just thought that if I beat up the engine, then the car run right because I'm disciplining the engine. But the engine ain't the problem, it's the brakes, fool. And that's how some of y'all trading. You trading thinking this indicator. You don't have a skill set. So I said, you can't touch my car. I don't want to touch my own. Exactly my point. When I need something done on my car, I take it to a person who has the skill set and the guidance and the understanding. And then they explain things to me. And down from there, I say, okay, now I know it. But not until then. So loved one, here's my advice. Take a break this week. Just use this time to observe the market. Don't worry about making money in Forex. Don't worry about doing this, that, and the other. Just observe the market. This is one of the best weeks because, again, I'm telling you, it may be some freezing in the movement the closer the day gets to the U.S. announcement. If the U.S. announced that they are going to, in the future, raise interest rates, and you guys know the term is called what? Hawkish. If they potentially lean towards raising interest rates, that US dollar may skyrocket. Okay? But if they don't and they just leave it as is, okay, steady as it goes, no problem. But in the stock market, which also impacts the Forex market. See, people in the stock market kind of know this stuff. It's like secondhand in the stock market that you research and you understand things. The Forex market, I have been saying for the longest, is the most immature market I've ever been involved in. And guess what? I've been involved in a lot of businesses. Real estate investing, network marketing business, sales business, restaurants, daycares. I've owned a lot of different businesses. But it wasn't until I got into the Forex market until I said, my God, how could this be the largest market in the world with so much immaturity? It is second nature in the stock market for you to understand this stuff. But only in the Forex market do people come in here with absolutely zero knowledge trying to make $1 million in a week. And they don't want to be tutored. They don't want to spend no money on education. They just want to watch a couple of free YouTube videos and they think they got it. And this stuff that I'm talking about, if I was talking to a group of investors in the stock market, every single one of them, or the majority, would already know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's second nature for you to do research, but not in Forex. And yes, I'm getting on your tail. You can say whatever you want about Uncle P, but at least I'm the one person on this video free of charge every Sunday when I'm not busy doing free videos, just trying to give you a solid education, or at least some guidance to get you in the right direction, because that's what we all need. We all need guidance. That's why we call the retail traders versus the institutions. And let me leave you with another thought. Have you ever figured out, because some of you guys, you still ain't getting it. You're still not getting it. What happens is, in the Forex arena, the ones who are actually ripping you off every week without shame are brokers, market makers, and institutions. And they are shameless with their methods. And most people know it. That's why they have, oh, beat the market makers method. Oh, beat the banks. See, why do you have to compete against them? Because everybody knows that they're ripping you off. Everybody knows they're manipulating it. However, what they have everybody doing in the group of retail traders versus the institutions, guess what they have everybody doing? Oh, let them little peasants fight amongst themselves. Oh, Uncle P's he's a scammer. Oh, this person is trying to rip people off. This person is trying to manipulate this. And you worry about the small fries. Meanwhile, everybody knows that the big banks and institutions and the market makers and your brokers is ripping your tail off. And you say nothing against them. Nothing. I have seen so many quote unquote scam videos. Oh, this person is exposed. This person is exposed. Exposed, exposed, exposed. And meanwhile, the banks and institutions is laughing at every single one of us retail traders. Knowing goodness well, we don't know nothing. And like, look at these little scrambling peasant fools. And they keep hitting your stop loss. They keep using news events to rip you off. They keep taking advantage of you. You keep complaining about your broker, but you keep refilling your pocket, the broker's pockets every week. Some of y'all already, you got your transfer in as we speak. As we speak, you done already transferred your Bitcoins into the same broker you just complained about, talking about that broker ain't no good, and you just made another deposit. And meanwhile, you're out trying to see who's the scammer. We are too small. I am the least person you need to be worried about. You need to be worried about your broker and the market makers, because everything that I just taught, they all are already prepared for this week's news event. They already know what to do. You don't, because you're too busy chasing. I'm trying to make some money. I'm trying to quit my job. But you can't quit something you don't understand. Let me leave y'all with this. God, I'm trying to really teach you. And why is this so passionate to me? Because I made the same mistake. You come in and you're so busy focusing on trying to make money in something you don't even understand. And clearly the Bible says, with all your getting, don't get money. It says get an understanding. And when you understand something, you can go out and make as much as you want. This is why I taught the other video. I said, oh God almighty, I need to quit. I need to quit this video. I really do. But I need to leave you. I'm going to step on your toes. I'm hurting your feelings, but I'm telling you the truth, loved one. Because here's what happens. In your quest to chase the money, you're not chasing the skill set. And that's why you're losing money. Even on the simplest of instructions, you won't follow it because you're so addicted to trading and with a live account until you're not using wisdom. And use and say whatever you want about me. But in your heart of hearts, you know everything that I said today made sense. You know it. You know doggone well. So whoever want to call me whatever, say whatever you want, but you cannot dispute that I'm telling you the truth. And only a person who has been through a level of pain beyond words will be willing to come on here and tell the facts, the real facts, that it hurts. Forex can be a painful, painful journey if you don't know what you're doing. That's like me taking my new car that I done bought, and my grandson, he lifted the Lambo doors up and he jumps into my car and he, oh yeah, did my papa car? And I hand him the key like a fool. And his feet can't even touch the pedal, but if they do, here he goes. He can't even see over the dashboard. And then I want to complain if the car gets wrecked. How stupid was that? He didn't have the knowledge of how to drive a car. Just because it's a sexy car don't mean that he need to be the one driving it. You don't have the skill set. So you need to sit your butt in this Tonka toy and pretend on this tricycle like you know how to drive until you can graduate to the next level. But you don't deserve to be in this kind of car because you don't have the knowledge. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. I beg you, this week, take a freaking break if you don't know what you're doing. You have to. Here's where it comes down to. How honest, you worry about everybody else who's scammers? Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem. But let me leave you with this. Are you truly being honest with yourself, or are you scamming yourself? That's the real question. Are you truly going to be honest, or are you going to keep on scamming yourself and then blaming other people because of your results? When you bought that trading system, do you really fully understand how it works? Or did you just toss it onto the charts like you've been doing and then run off, and then when it didn't work out, you want to blame whoever built the indicators versus the fact you know you didn't even read the manual? If they had tutorial videos, you know you never went through them. When are you going to be honest with yourself? Fellow retail trader? And talking about traders, you're a traitor to yourself. You're not being honest. That's why you scapegoating, trying to find somebody else to point the finger at, because you're not telling yourself the truth. You're deceiving yourself. Here's the truth. If you haven't made a withdrawal and you've been trading over and over and over again, if you have indicators, but you know doggone well that you haven't went through the tutorials, this would be a fabulous week to just take off from the market. The market will be there next week. It ain't going nowhere. But your pocketbooks and your mentality will. Either you're going to take my advice out of love, or you're going to keep doing the same old crooked thing that you've been doing. And they have this term, insanity, doing the same thing, but expecting different results. Your Bitcoin transfer, cancel it. Just cancel it. Tell them, no, that's okay. Cancel the transfer. I don't want to put it in. I think I'm going to listen to Uncle P. The last several weeks, I've been depositing money into my account, and I have not made a withdrawal, and I'm still confused as hell. Lord, forgive me for saying it, but that's the truth. But this week, I think I'm going to take his advice, especially knowing that this market this week may be a little bit shaky up until the Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday when the U.S. announcement comes out for the interest rates. I think I'm going to take his advice. And instead of trading, I'm going to study the material that was provided to me. Thank you, Elliot. Elliot said it's Wednesday. Just take the time to study. Become a student of the game. And when you master your skill, things become very easy. There's a reason why professional traders don't spend so much time on their charts, although the retail trader does. The unprofessional trader does. There's a reason why you don't hear professional traders saying, I want to be a full-time trader. Now, they may have full-time trader as their career, but if you notice their lifestyle, they don't spend a lot of time on the charts. Meanwhile, the uneducated trader It's spending all day long and all night long on them charts, trying to figure out where I made my mistake. The mistake was that you didn't absorb the information, and so now you're constantly going back trying to recorrect your idea. Well, what was the right strategy? See, it's too late now. You're supposed to do that before you went into the trade, not after you traded. You're doing things backwards, loved one. Take this week off. Don't take another trade this week. Or at least trade after Wednesday. And that gives yourself a couple of days to just sit back and say, you know what, man, I'm gonna chill. I am stressed out. I already had a lot of stress in the first place, and this thing is really stressing me out. And again, you know why people won't say this? And I'll leave you guys with this, because I got a lot of family members coming over to visit and hang out. But I still care enough to even stop what I'm doing for my day to prepare for the company to come to my house to do these videos, because I love y'all. And I've been in your shoes and it's painful. It's very painful. So let me leave you guys with this. I have said time and time again, professional traders are professional waiters. Write this word down. Not waiters in a restaurant. They have patience to wait for trade setups. And if they know some big news is coming out or something's going on, they're not quick to rush into trades. Meanwhile, the average Forex trader who's immature, have no patience, no discipline. Notice what all those have to do with. None of it has to do with charts. It all has to do with your personality type. They have no patience, no wisdom. They don't know what's going on, and they're forcing trades because they're trying to make money versus like the professional trader who says, I'll just sit back and chill and I'll wait. Now, you can sit there and blame anybody you want, but I'm still smacking you in the face with truth. Are you that person who I just described at first, who you are hearing everything that I'm saying, but yet in the back of your mind, you're still trying to figure a way to get into some trades? Are you the person who don't know what's going on? When are you going to stop lying to yourself? I had to stop. I told you guys, somebody had asked me the other day in class, here was the truth. They said, well, when did you make it over to the other side? When I got to the point where I hated Forex. I hated Forex. To the point I didn't want to trade no more. That's what it took for me to hit to the bottom. I had to hit rock bottom. I hated Forex. I didn't even want to look at charts no more. I was sick of it. And that's when the light clicked on. Why? Because I was so indulged into a routine of foolishness until it wasn't until I stopped my insanity of doing the same stupid things and I had to take a break. Why did I take a break? Was it because of volunteering? No, it was because of frustration. And I was like, man, this stuff ain't no for real. Some of you guys are there now. It ain't real. It ain't real. You've been telling yourself that. I'm speaking your mind. It ain't real, man. But then there's something drawing you to keep trading. But then on the other half of your brain, you keep saying, oh man, this ain't real. But another part of you is saying, but I'm gonna keep on trying. So you see the conflict that you got going on in your head? This is why you need mentorship. You need somebody who understands that stuff. And it wasn't until I hated Forex. And then all of a sudden, the light went on. I told some of my students, they know I had studied market makers method for like 3.5 years and got nothing out of it. But the moment I said, to hell with Forex, I'm tired of Forex, I hate Forex and everything else. And then when I finally did take a break and then went back to the charts, it was like, I don't know what happened. It was just like, I can see M's and W's all over the place. Level 1, level 2, level 3, reversal. But then it kept on going. I seen the M, but then why did it keep going? Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to check the higher time frames because maybe the trend is constantly keeping going. That's why you get into them M's and W's and then they lose, because sometimes it wasn't just about the M and W. You had to look at the bigger picture. See, but I wouldn't talk that. Just look at the 15-minute, look for the M, look at for the W, double bottom, double top, take it this straight, and then it will hit my stop over and over and over again. I was pissed. Because I didn't have full knowledge. And that's where some of you guys are. All right, I have to go. I hope this video was helpful for your learning. Again, say whatever you want about me, but at least I love you enough to even stop my day from my family time. I got a bunch of people on their way, but I still stop to spend 50 minutes with you guys just to help make sure that you're on the right track. That's love, because I know what it feels like to be in that situation. So please, I used up 50 minutes of my time to spend with you guys. I'm begging you guys to at least respect the fact of my sacrifice and take my advice this week. Take my advice. Chillax. Get educated. Then the money will come. Okay? Love you guys. Thank you very much. And again, if you do want to join us, that's fine. Just go to our website, superezforex.com, and just click on the join button. You can take the time to study today, and then on Tuesday, yes, I see somebody asking, yes, I will be in class on Tuesday and Wednesday, like usual. You know, that's my favorite thing about trading. I love the classes more than I do the trading. I still don't have a deep passion for Forex, even to this day. I really don't. But I enjoy the teaching side of it now. That's very highly beneficial for me. So yes, I will see you guys on Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay? Have a good one.